It's finally here, guys. We finally have the Boss Planet drop happening in just 2 days on February 13th. This is probably the most hyped up and highly anticipated CNFT drop that we have seen in a very long time. And in this video, I'm going to be going over what exactly Boss Planet is, some of the price predictions I have for it, and how this release is going to take place. But without further ado, let's get into it. So what exactly is Boss Planet and why am I so excited on it? Well, Boss Planet is going to be the metaverse for the Boss Cat Rocket Club ecosystem, right? So if you guys know anything about CNFTs, you'll know that their Boss Cat Rocket Club cats have done exceptionally well with over a 2200 ADA floor. They also have these different rocket parts where you can actually put these expensive rocket parts together and build your own space rocket and take part of these different royalties. I made an entire video on this. It's a very cool concept and utility that this team is doing. They have now made their own metaverse land called Boss Planet. There are going to be 129,600 parcels of this land, and it's going to be divided into 9 different districts. Each district is going to host different sort of stuff, right? So you might have a district for entertainment, you might have a district for sports, you might have a district for shopping, right? And in those districts, there's going to be different biomes or different resources in each of them, unique to every single parcel of land. The team decided to go with kind of a sandbox or Minecraft look to it. I personally like this sort of look. Minecraft is the biggest game of all time, and Sandbox has done exceptionally well. So I actually like the route they went with this. The biggest competitor as far as land goes when it comes into the Cardano ecosystem is Pavia, and Pavia isn't necessarily doing a look like this. So this could kind of be the Sandbox of the Cardano ecosystem, and Pavia could kind of be like the Decentraland. With these parcels of land, you're going to be able to explore just like any metaverse, right? You're going to be able to see different people in the community, go shopping, visit your friend's penthouse, get the latest meta gear or like different accessories. You're also going to be able to create stuff, right? So you're going to be able to build the property of your dreams, right? So you're going to be able to have private residences, stores, games, concerts, museums, galleries. You can build your long-awaited dream home or business in this metaverse world. They are also having their NFTs, which are these Vox cats, which is kind of going to be the avatars in this world, and they're also making their own token, which is going to be the utility token of the game. Over here, guys, you can see that there are going to be a max of 129,600 parcels. This is very similar to Pavia. Pavia is going to have a total of 100,000, right? In this world, there are going to be those 9 districts, like I had mentioned, with all different biomes, topography, zoning classifications, and availability, right? So it's going to be very diverse. It's not going to be like a lot of these different land projects out there that just have one boring piece of land as an NFT. Like, this is going to be very unique with every single property. They are also breaking it up into these 9 different districts, all with their own speciality, which is pretty cool, right? So for example, they have a district for sports. They have a district, a commercial center, right? For all of your shopping needs, an entertainment center with cinemas, bars, and nightclubs, a central business district with high rises, right? They have a luxury villa area where you can get all these different mansions. There are going to be all these different districts, and it's really cool how they're breaking stuff up like this. I like a lot of the ideas that this team is having, and they always seem to be delivering on just an insane level of utility in their projects. On your land, you're going to be able to build your property, right? So they're going to have their own toolkit, which is going to be super intuitive and super easy to use. So it's kind of going to be like Minecraft or what Cornucopias is doing, which is another metaverse project. Make sure you check out that video of mine, guys. But basically, you're going to be able to build all these different accessories, these different houses. It is going to be a super cool project. To elaborate on that a little bit more, they're going to have their own marketplace where you're going to be able to buy and sell all these different NFTs and digital goods, right? So what's going to be really cool is you can create stuff. This is kind of like a Greek temple or a pavilion looking thing, right? You're going to be able to make this stuff, and with the different resources that you're most likely going to get off of the land or by playing the different mini games that they're going to have, and then you're going to be able to sell that in the marketplace, getting their boss token or their utility token. In this metaverse, you are going to have an avatar, and one of the big avatars that you're going to be able to have is these Vox avatars, which are these really cool 3D pixelated cats, right? Now, one interesting about these cats is that they're actually going to be free, and they're going to be airdropped to people that hold cats and rocket parts or rockets starting in March. I believe it's mid-March. I'm going to show that a little bit later in the video, but they look super, super cool. They look really good. So just imagine if this project takes off and in 10 years you actually own one of these Vox cats, right? That's going to be like the biggest flex ever, because the only people that would have had these are the people that were like OGs that got in right away and were some of the earliest holders of this project. Now, their map isn't out yet, but look at this, guys. If it really looks like this, then this project is going to go stupid. I mean, this looks amazing, especially compared to a lot of other projects out there. And I really like how it's kind of replicating Sandbox and Minecraft. I don't view it as copying. I view it as like, dude, this is a style that a lot of people like, and I think it looks really good and can take off. So if it actually looks like this and has all these trees and flowers and biomes like they were saying in these different districts, then this project is going to do very, very well. With any metaverse, it's important to have your own token for the different utility. Think of Mana for Decentraland or Sand for Sandbox. It's just going to be really important to be able to buy these different accessories or these different houses, these different cars, play these different games in the game. It is going to be how this economy basically works, right? Now, you can't buy this token yet, but I'm assuming that when they actually launch it, if you can get in early, you'll probably make a ton of money. This is a very common situation if they release with a good initial market cap where you can just make a ton of money if you get in early. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. I believe the Kopi token, which was the Cornucopias token, actually had done pretty well, if I remember correctly, over since it's launched. So this would probably be something that I get a small bag of as well, just in case that this metaverse really blows up and this coin blows up with it. I really like this project and I've been looking forward to it for a while. I know there's a lot of FUD that goes on in the whole Boss Cat ecosystem, and I know that this team hasn't necessarily done the most transparent or ethical stuff sometimes, but I actually am a very big believer in this team. They are constantly delivering. They've always done a good job at providing utility. They are masters at marketing, and I really think that this Boss Planet is going to take off and really rival Pavia. I really believe that the top 3 metaverse projects are probably going to be Boss Planet, Pavia, and Cornucopias when it comes to the Cardano ecosystem. So it'd be really interesting to see how this drop goes and all the different developments they make. Now, how is this drop taking place? What do you guys need to know? Well, this drop is taking place on the 13th of February, which is just in a couple days, and it is going to be for the pre-sale only for, I believe, 5 days. So from the 13th to the 18th, if you qualify for the pre-sale, and if you had already submitted your wallet and been verified, then you're going to be able to partake in this pre-sale, right? So if you own, for example, 1 rocket, you're going to be able to mint 10 and get 1 free drop. 1 boss cat and 2 rocket parts, so you can mint 5. If you haven't done this already and you haven't verified your wallets, it is too late. The deadline was, I believe, the 9th or 10th of this month, so just 1 or 2 days ago. But if you are a part of this whitelist, it is going to be a no-brainer to get into this project. I also want to show here, guys, that those Vox cats that I was showing you are releasing on the 5th to 8th of March, and you're going to be able to get these free drops. So if you have 2 cats, you're going to be able to get 1. If you have 1 rocket part, you're going to be able to get 1. So that's one thing I do like about this team, is that they're constantly adding reasons for you to actually hold their stuff by doing these different airdrops and different incentives. They're going to be releasing a total of 12,900 plots of land in this original sale. 30% out of the entire 129,000 is going to different partners that they partnered with and different influencers, right? So about 70% of the supply is going to be trickled over the next 5 years. Now, we are getting about 10% of the total supply on the 13th. When you calculate all of the different cats and all of the different people that have whitelist, we can assume that anywhere between 10 to 11,000 pieces of this land are going to be sold in this whitelisting, which is only going to leave between 2,000 and 3,000 plots of land for the public. Now, it's definitely possible to get in the public if you're using Daedalus. So make sure to watch some of my videos on that. Daedalus is very important, and if you can't run Daedalus on your computer for whatever reason, make sure that you watch my video on how to use a server, because it is going to be 100% crucial in order to get into this land in the public sale. I believe the tentative date for the public sale right now is the 18th of February, and the price for these different land parcels is going to be only 60 ADA, which is going to be a no-brainer if you can get in at that retail price. The last thing I wanted to show you guys in this video was just a rough price estimate of where I think this land is actually going to be in the short term and as well as the long term, right? So what I did is I compared all of the top Cardano metaverse Metaverse projects together to get the amount of supply they have, to get the floor they have, and to get the total floor market cap. So it's not the market cap of the project, it is the market cap of the supply and the floor, right? So you got to realize that these projects are actually bigger than this. It would just be impossible to really calculate the true number. If you look here, guys, Pavia alone is worth 36 million market cap as far as their floor goes, which is pretty insane, right? And then you have some of the other top projects such as Artifact Moon, Cardania, Unbounded Earth, Cardano Village, and Cardano City. They roughly have anywhere from a 1 to 2.5 million market cap for their floors. So very, very big outlier when it comes to Pavia. What I did is I took the average of all of the market caps, right, for all these different projects, and that ended up being about 7.6 million market cap as an average. Now, there are going to be 12,900 plots of land, and if you divide that by the floor market cap average, you're going to get about $586 as far as a piece of land goes. If you decide to take out Pavia, because Pavia is very big and established, we'd only have a 1.9 million average, which would bring the price of this to $145. Now, I don't think this is going to be the case at all, but I wanted to include this because it's just going to prove to you guys that if we can get in at 60 ADA, you're going to make money. And if you don't make money off of 60 ADA and it's somehow lower than 60 ADA, then I'll buy every single plot off of you, because there is no way in my mind that it even goes to 145 ADA, because you're then comparing something on the level of Boss Cat Rocket Club with all these different projects like Artifact Moon, Cardania, Unbounded Earth, right? It's just not a fair comparison, because literally if you add up Boss Cats and parts, we're looking at about $42 million market cap floor, which is actually bigger than Pavia. So even though I don't think Boss Planet is going to be bigger than Pavia right away, we have to at least assume that it's going to be a lot better and a lot bigger than all these other projects, especially since it's so hyped up. So that's why I was like, okay, well, what if we did half the market cap of Pavia, right? Let's just say it was half as big as Pavia. Well, we would be looking at an 18 million overall market cap, which would put each parcel of land about 1,400 ADA. Now, there's definitely a lot of different things that we have to consider here. One is that we're only considering 12,900 plots of land when there is going to be a lot more land in the future. So for Pavia, for example, they are releasing their remaining 40,000 plots of land, so it's going to be a total supply of 100,000, right? So we can assume that the market cap is going to be in a more established situation because we know more land isn't going to come out. So the fact that we have more land coming out, and especially 90% more land coming out, that is going to have a slight impact on the price. The other thing I want to bring up, guys, and I brought up in my hype FOMO video, make sure you watch that, is that I think these boss cats and boss parts are actually going to go down as far as the short term goes. We have a lot of people that have been buying these cats and buying these parts in order to take advantage of this white listing, right, of this pre-sale. So we have to consider that there's a world where these boss cats, all of a sudden, when everyone's selling stuff after they got their utility out of this pre-sale, there's a world where these boss cats could go down to 1,500 ADA, and there's a world that these boss parts could go all the way down to 3,000 or 4,000 ADA, which would bring the market cap of this a lot lower. Who knows if the team is randomly going to release some sort of major utility and hype that's going to keep a lot of people holding this stuff, but I do think we could see a pullback on that, which could be a negative, at least in the short term, for Boss Planet parts, right? So let's imagine all of a sudden we have 13,000 plots of land that go into this marketplace, right? And then all of a sudden boss cats and boss parts are dropping a lot in price. Well, now you're going to have everyone freaking out, and there's going to be a ton of sellers when it comes to these Boss Planet land parcels. So we can think in the short term that the price is actually, as soon as the hype starts to die down and people stop FOMOing and buying it, we can assume that this price is actually going to dip a decent amount. Now, this is just me talking out of my ass, like I was saying earlier. Maybe none of this happens and nothing dips and it just goes absolutely insane. But I personally think that we are going to see a dip. It just only makes sense to me, right? So as far as what I am doing and what my genuine strategy is, I'm going to be getting some of those pieces of land from my whitelisted wallet, and then I'm going to be trying to use Daedalus to get as many pieces of this land in the public sale as possible. Now, I'm guessing that I'm probably not going to be able to get a ton of land, and that's when I'm going to be looking at the aftermarket. If for whatever reason, it goes to $145, you bet that I'm gonna, sell my house and buy as many pieces of land as possible, right? But I can expect that it is going to be at least around this 600 ADA range. Now, like I said, who knows, especially in the short term, but I feel like if you can get in at about 600 ADA, that's probably a very good buy-in price, because then you're assuming that the market cap is going to be 7.5 million, which is about 4 times smaller than that of Pavia. So if you can get in at like 600, you're literally getting in at a price that's 4 times less than Pavia, and I really think that Boss Planet can compete more with Pavia than just being a quarter of the size. As far as the most I would pay for a piece of land, it would be that 1400 ADA. Like, I wouldn't want to spend any more than that, because you're already assuming that you're going to be half the size of Pavia right off the rip. Like, there's just no way, when Pavia has that big of a following and has that much establishedness and has that big of a team, that this is going to have half of the market cap off the rip, right? So ideally, you would get in, at least in the short term, under 1,000. Like, I wouldn't really want to spend anything over 1,000. I think that would just be a lot of risk. And I also think that we're going to be in a very heavy selling market as far as Boss Cat stuff goes. I mean, this has been hype that has been building for over a month now. I think a lot of people bought these cats and bought these parts simply to take a part of this Boss Planet. And I think that you're going to have a lot of people starting to sell these cats and a lot of people selling these parts. And I think that's going to drop the price on that. So all of a sudden, if you have their other 2 projects dropping a lot in price, and then all of a sudden you have 12,900 plots of land, which is a lot of land just automatically going into the ecosystem, you're going to have all those people too, like, start to sell and start to panic sell and start to try to take profits, right? Especially since a lot of people were able to get it at that 68 a price. So I just think there's going to be a ton of selling pressure. So I'm going to be a little hands off, at least in the beginning, and see what happens in this market. I could be completely wrong about all this stuff, and this land could just go absolutely stupid, and it could match the floor price of Pavia. But as far as the strategic thing, get in as much as you can in the public sale and in the pre-sale. And then after that stuff ends, take a step back and look at the price of things. If we're seeing a 1,400 price, like, I'm personally going to be selling my land, and I'm not going to be buying a bunch of land until I can really spot the floor. If we really get a big dip when it comes to these cats and parts like I'm expecting, then there's going to be some opportunities at being able to get these pieces of land at a really good price. Anything under that 600 ADA price that I was telling you guys about earlier, where we're only evaluating it at about a 7.6 million market cap compared to Pavia's 36 million, I think that's like a no-brainer for me. But who knows? People might not do the math and not watch this video, and they might have no idea how to really price and evaluate this stuff. So we could see something as crazy as 300 ADA, just because a lot of people are going to be buying this for 60, and they're like, hey, that's a 5x, right? And if that's the case, you bet your boy is going to be buying some of this stuff, because long term, I do believe in this team. Long term, I do believe in these cats and these parts, regardless of all the FUD and crap that has been out there. That pretty much sums up the video though, guys. Make sure that you are going for this for that 68 a price. That is an absolute no-brainer. And make sure that you don't buy into a bunch of hype and a bunch of FOMO, because you can really lose a lot of money on this stuff. Take a little bit of time to see how the market reacts before you make any purchases. If what I think is going to happen happens, and we do see a dip in Boss Cats and in these Boss parts, then hopefully we'll be able to get into this land at a very good price as a long-term investment. That wraps it up though, guys. If you enjoyed it or learned something, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and follow my Twitter for more information. But yeah, I hope everyone here has an awesome day.